What's going on, my business associates? You're tuned in to another episode of Whiskey Business. My name's Jesse, and if you're new here, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be decapitating Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A122. This is going to be my first Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, so needless to say, I'm anticipating this dram quite a lot. If you do go on to enjoy this video or just enjoy quality sipping spirits in general, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with all of my latest content. I like to showcase stuff that the local LCBO has to offer if you're a local Ontarian living in Canada. And if not, maybe my tasting notes will help you with your purchases up there in America where things are quite a lot cheaper. I'd really appreciate any feedback or support. It's free and really helps the channel to grow. If you're interested, follow me here on Instagram to stay up to date with all my latest posts and LCBO finds. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into some whiskey business. Alright, so Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A122. It is currently April 1st, 2023, and the LCBO received Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A122. I was one of the lucky few to get my hands on it. It was very limited quantity spread across stores in the GTA, so I had to make a decent drive for this, and I believe it came in at $129.93 or something like that. So overall, it's a pretty good price compared to what you'd pay in America, and if you were to bring it back into Canada and had to pay duties on it, I would say this is actually cheaper, but it was very limited. Most stores only got like a limit of 5, so yeah, if you were one of the lucky few to get it, congratulations, and I hope you are enjoying it. Like I stated, this is going to be my first Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is coming in at 60.4% alcohol by volume, or 120.8 proof. Let's pop her, shall we? Very nice. I love Elijah Craig's corks and bottles. I like this little, it's almost like the Blanton's thing. It gives you a nice secure holding on it. Funny story, the man giving this to me on my online pickup placed it on top of a box that was bulging at the seams, and this was placed in a standard LCBO bag. The thing started tipping, falling off the counter. I literally had to sprint and grab it, seeing it fall. I had already witnessed one bottle not of Elijah Craig, but I witnessed one bottle smash open on the floor that day while waiting in line, and I said, look, I don't come to this LCBO often, but my judgments are made. These guys are not taking this stuff seriously here. Dropping bottles. Dude didn't even know what this was, okay? He didn't know how allocated it was if he would have dropped this. Also, funny story, if you live in Ontario, you know how hard the Weller 107 is to get. Lady knocked over my Weller 107 at the counter when picking up my online order. Like, come on, guys. You know, maybe the budget bottles, sure, but like these, no. Don't be messing around. But really, they don't know the difference. Straight off the bat, I'm smelling a lot of caramel, oak. Let's get this poured, shall we? Just gonna go in with a small pour. Let's get into the nose. Wow. Whoo. Straight off the bat, wow. This is very, very reminiscent of one of my first ever bourbons. First ever quality bourbons. I mean, like I had Jim Beam White Label, Jim Beam Black, Jim Beam Devil's Cut, but my first ever, I would say, quality was Knob Creek 9 Year. And this is bringing me back a little bit to that. There's some nuttiness. Pecans. Do you guys say pecans or pecans? Let me know down below. You know, throughout my life, I've just been examining how people say words, and I just noticed there's so many words that people say differently, like caramel. Very interesting to me, but I always like to hear what people say. And I've also noticed through my life, I've changed. Like before whiskey tasting and stuff, I used to say caramel. Now I kind of say caramel. It makes me feel a little bit more elegant. So let me know what you guys say down below. But definitely some pecans. Lots of cinnamon. Oak. Just the faintest little bit of cherry sweetness, like very, very dark cherries. It's not super sweet. It's very dark, but there is underlying sweetness. Some brown sugar. You're getting that Heaven Hill nuttiness for sure, in the form of pecans. Oh, it just smells so oily and like just straight pecans. Pecans. Yeah, wow. That's a really nice nose. Like, I wasn't expecting it. The Elijah Craig small batch wasn't totally up my alley. I never did a decapitation of it. But since it's opened up, it's gotten a little bit better. Very traditional bourbon notes. But this barrel proof is actually blowing me out of the water. It's not anything like the 1920 or Rare Breed, which are my two favorite higher proof, barrel proof bourbons at this point. It's more dark and rich than those. Knob Creek 9 single barrel, which is right up there, it's sweeter, and this is just super dark and earthy. Earthy is what I'm looking for. But anyways, let's go to the palate. If you guys have any Elijah Craig barrel proof, I would love for you to sip along with me. So yeah, cheers. Wow. Straight away, that pecan followed through right into the palate, almost like a glazed pecan. Like if you ever had like a glazed pecan pie or cheesecake, think like I think they're called pralines. I don't know. Candied pecan is what I'm looking for. So yeah, candied pecan, cinnamon, lots of oak, but a sweet oak. Sweetness in the form of maybe a little bit of burnt sugar, brown sugar, the faintest little bit of maple is wafting through the air right now. If you've ever been to a maple syrup festival or like tapped your own maple tree, that's kind of the aromas I'm getting in there. Also, I'd like to apologize for any loud noises. Like I said in a previous video, there's lots of construction out there, and the whole road is gravel right now, so all the cars driving over are making a ton of noise, and it's not optimal filming conditions, but like I said, I just got this and I had to go through it, so let's go back to the palate. Just very dark, nutty, caramel, cinnamon, just lots of warm, spicy sweet nuts. That cherry doesn't really shine through at all, but like I said, it was a very, very dark cherry down at the bottom, like maybe you had a cocktail and you know there was a little bit of cherry left in the glass from the night before or something like that. Like, it was very muted, but also just very dark cherry. Like, it wasn't a sweet, bright cherry. Maybe a Luxardo cherry. Anyways, that's not on the palate. Finish is super long, very nice oak spicing, not bitter, very well rounded. The no oak tannins. Considering I've heard a lot of people talk about how oaky the Elijah Craig barrel proofs are. It's very oaky, but it's like a very approachable oak. It's not up that oak tanniny route that I tend to shy away from. I like the sweeter oaks, glazed oak I like to call it, and this is totally giving me that. So we'll get one more sip in here and talk about the mouthfeel. Mouthfeel is just thick, oily, coats the mouth. Sweetness really gets the palate salivating. Just makes you urge for that next sip. And that finish is so long, just right down the throat, into the chest, long Kentucky hug. Lots of nice warm baking spices with the sweetness and oak. They all go together really well. And I would say this is a very, very good bottle. Totally worth the drive I made. Totally worth the price. And, I wish it was more readily available, but it's not. Now, like I said, with these decapitations, I'm going to shy away from rating it and save it for the review. But what I will let you know is if you guys do see this in your local LCBO store, which it's going to be rare, but if you do see it, do not hesitate to grab it because it is super limited, and I think it is definitely worth the price tag. Punch is well above, and it's just such a standard traditional bourbon with lots of sweetness, and the mouthfeel is just immaculate, super oily. I love it. So anyways, that's gonna do for my Elijah Craig A122 Decapitation. Stay tuned for the review coming sometime in the future, but definitely follow me on Instagram for the meantime. I really appreciate it, like I said, and comment down below what your favorite batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof was down below. I would love to hear it. This is my first batch, so I can't speak much of it, but hey, if I'm ever in the market for another one, I would like to know what you guys think down below. So that's gonna do. I've been Whiskey Business, and I'm out. Cheers.